welcome back to my channel. If you are new around here, then thanks for stopping by. My name is Abby and I am a homeschooling mom of 5 kids. My youngest is getting closer to 2 years old here this summer and my oldest is 15. So we have everything going on here in our homeschool: toddler, elementary, middle, and high schoolers. And today I am excited to be sharing on this month's Homeschool Show and Tell topic, which is digital favorites in our homeschool. So if you're not familiar with the Homeschool Show and Tell, this is a monthly open collaboration that Jessica from the Waldock Way and I host, and anybody who has a YouTube channel and homeschools can share on this topic throughout the month. So for the month of April, the topic is digital favorites, and you kind of can take that in any direction that you'd like. We like the ideas to be loosely themed so that everybody gets a chance to put their own spin on it. So like I said, today's topic is digital favorites in your homeschool. So I've come up with the 5 most common digital resources that we use and love in our homeschool. There's so many things I could put under this category of digital favorites. So what I decided to do was just come up with the 5 that we use regularly, at least once a week in our homeschool. So none of these will be a surprise to you guys. You hear me talk about a lot of these things on my channel throughout the homeschool year. We are a very, or I am at least, a very consistent personality when it comes to our homeschool. So I don't usually deviate from something that I start. If I like it, we keep it. If I don't, we don't continue on with it. And we have stuck with the same resources and the same curriculum and things like that in our homeschool for years and years. Things that we used when Bella was in elementary school, we're still using with Annabeth in elementary school now 10 years later. So we, like I said, none of these are going to be a surprise to you guys, but nevertheless, the theme is digital favorites. So here's a little refresher on digital resources that we really love in our homeschool. The first favorite is Redefining School. I use Redefining School for my older 2 children who are in middle and high school. This is an online middle through 9th grade-ish literature survey. Last year my kids did the American literature course, and this year they're doing the world literature course. Mindy also offers writing courses that are 8 weeks long, but those you do at your own pace. They take about 8 weeks to complete, but you don't have to do it in 8 weeks, versus the middle or the American and world literature surveys. You kind of stay on pace month to month with the same group of kids because you can do 2 live Zoom classes per month with your classmates if you prefer to. You don't have to do it, but it adds so much richness to the curriculum. So this takes my kids about 10 minutes twice a week throughout the month. So I just printed April's lessons, and they will get on, watch a 5-minute video that Mindy puts out there, fill out their little PDFs. A couple days later, they'll do the same thing, play Kahoot. The next week, they'll do a couple more video lessons, and then they'll get to do a live writer's workshop or a discussion, author's chair, or something like that on a Zoom call. Then they continue on with that same author, the same theme. They're working on different literary themes within. It's really actually incredible the way that Mindy structures this. She'll take one author, they'll learn about the country that author is from, learn about different styles of writing, and then she'll hone in on one specific area. They'll work on things like vocabulary, they work on they just did a Shakespeare course, and so they worked on iambic pentameter, and she uses these different authors and regions of the world and times in history to focus on just particular areas of literature and writing. So it's really incredible. It's added so much richness to our homeschool, and it was something that and I've mentioned this before, if there's anything that I regretted or wished my kids had the opportunity for once they got to these older grades, it was that discussion that comes from a really good English class. And Mindy is a Christian, so she considers the Bible to be truth, and so they are able to use that in their Zoom calls as well. And it's just so nice to give them the opportunity to explore thoughts and themes and ideas with peers under the direction of a great teacher like Mindy, and a little FYI for those of you who have been along with this middle school literature survey, it's really like geared for grades 5 through 9. She is going to be offering some high school options next year. So her spring sampler just closed last week as far as being able to sign up for a sample class for that, but she is going to be opening enrollment for the American, World Lit, and additional courses that she's offering next year in the beginning of May. So I'll put a link below for you guys to sign up for her waitlist to be notified, because the classes will fill up, as well as a link for her writing courses, which are always open, and you can do Zoom, live Zoom class, not classes, but you can also do live video conferences within that writing class as well, but that's more self-paced. So there's a few different creative writing courses and research writing courses that she offers as well. So those are always open, and I'll put that link down below. Okay, moving on, my second digital favorite, I'll just go quickly over this one, teaching textbooks. We've used teaching textbooks math in our homeschool from the time my oldest was in 2nd grade. She started with Math 3, and I can't imagine our homeschool without it. To be quite honest, we haven't used another math course for that grade. We use another math up until they're at level 3, which is where teaching textbooks begins, but we've never tried an additional or different math curriculum. So our homeschool has essentially been structured around this being our main math. The wonderful thing about that is it's fit seamlessly across the board, no matter my kids' learning style. I have my 3 kids who are currently using it are 3 completely different personalities and learning styles, and there's a little something for everyone within that. I also cannot imagine, with as full as our days and our weeks are, with all of that it takes for me to teach so many children and do individualized lessons as well as group lessons, adding an additional up to an hour per kid to teach a math course. I don't think that I'd be able to do the more fun things that I enjoy teaching, like, you know, our handcrafts or reading some fun read-alouds, if I had to also fit teaching math into our schedule. So teaching textbooks has really been a really great fit for our family, no matter our kids' learning style. Some of my kids would prefer to do it like without the noises, or some of them don't love the lecture as much as the bonus rounds and things like that. They all have different approaches to how they do it, but it's very flexible, it's self-paced. You have a year to use the course that once you sign up for it, and you can pause. So whenever we go on vacation, we pause it. We just did spring break, we paused our course, and we can take it to go. So we can take it on a tablet, mobile device, and you don't even have to have Wi-Fi to access up to 5 lessons at a time off grid. So it comes with us in the car a lot, comes with us on road trips. We do continue it through the summer, so we can kind of take it at our pace throughout the school year. So teaching textbooks is my second digital favorite. My third digital favorite is Made to Homeschool, which is an online platform for homeschoolers by homeschoolers. So this is a semi-new thing that just came out last spring, and I'm one of the original contributors, and I really have enjoyed being a part of Made to Homeschool. It's essentially, now I'm gonna go off script here a little bit, because this isn't necessarily how Made to Homeschool would promote it, but the best way I can explain it is it's like a social media for homeschoolers, and also there is a statement of faith, which is wonderful, but it's so much more than that. So it's almost as if you're accessing a homeschool conference 24/7. Almost every day, if not every day, there's at least one, if not more, opportunities to get in a live room. You don't have to turn your camera on and be a part of it as well, but there's always somebody there throughout different hours of the day to just hang out, talk about homeschooling. Some of them are themed around particular themes. There's book clubs and Bible studies. I host a once a month late night prayer and encouragement chat where we just get in a live room. It's usually one Monday a month later in the evening. And we just talk about, I'll have different topics, like let's talk about your favorite recipes this month, and what's the hardest thing you're dealing with in your homeschool right now, and what's the most exciting victory you had in your homeschool, and what can we be praying for, and we end that time in prayer, and it's very special. There's also live workshops. There's a new piece of content every day, whether that be a printable or an article or a workshop. So this coming next week, actually, on Monday, I will be hosting a picture study workshop, so how to teach picture study, and I'm gonna do that workshop as if you are the student and I'm the teacher, so you'll be sitting in my classroom, and you'll get to participate. Sorry about that, somebody just got to our front door in the middle of that thought, but I was saying that this coming Monday, I'll be teaching a workshop as if you're the student and I'm the teacher, and you're like sitting in on how we do picture study, so it'll be a really interactive workshop, which is so fun. And the workshops are live, they're recorded, so you can access them later, but it's really nice to be in a live workshop, and there are workshops every single Monday on the platform. So all sorts of different topics. I taught one on incorporating faith into your homeschool. I taught one on teaching middle schoolers. There are some really great workshop themes, different reading and elementary school topics, some faith-based topics, families, parenting, all sorts of, there's even been marriage workshops. It's been really incredible to see the different themes and everyone's different take on how they contribute to the platform. And then not only are there workshops and printables, but there are also circles, which are like big group chats and boards where you can post things. But there are so many different circles, everything from raising special needs children and homeschooling special needs to prayer requests and encouragement chats. There are some for high school families. There are some for, if it's like your first year homeschooling. There's whole circles just for teaching middle schoolers, or homemaking. There's a homemaking circle where you can share recipes and tips and ideas, or if you just need advice. There are different, essentially like themes of these different chats that you can just pop in on at any point in time. Everyone's a part of the circles within their membership. So the reason I love Made to Homeschool so much is because, as a contributor, is because there are so many things that I want to share here on YouTube that are just too much of like a niche topic that I couldn't do a whole video on. It wouldn't do well, and essentially videos that don't do well on a channel hurt your algorithm. As much as I don't want to say that, it's the reason I can't do things like the interactive workshop here, because it wouldn't be good for my channel, even though that's the kind of stuff I want to be sharing, and I want to do these fun interactive things. I want to share really specific content. I'm writing an article right now that's going to go up in May about making use of summer and like how different habits that I really hone in on in the summer that helps our school year. That's not necessarily a video topic. So it's as if it's like a community membership type of situation. You'll recognize a lot of the contributors that are on there, and you interact with them on a regular basis. Most of them you may know from YouTube or social media, and it's just really fun to be able to engage with people in that way, to be in a community of just like-minded believers who are homeschooling their kids. It's really a special place. Brandon and Brigitte, who are the creators of Made to Homeschool, we have been with them a handful of times. We've had lunch with them, we've had dinner with them. They live pretty close, or they just moved. They lived pretty close to John and I just love them, their heart behind the community, and I consider them to be lifelong friends now. And I just met them through a mutual friend who connected us. So love their heart behind it, love the idea of the platform. I love every month when I get to have that prayer and encouragement meeting. I go in obviously with a handful of questions to ask everyone to keep the engagement, but I never make it through all the questions. The conversation and the encouragement that each of the ladies brings to the table, I always walk away just with my my bucket just filled, like it's overflowing of just like encouragement. And I feel like people ask me questions, and because we've gotten to know each other over the months of being in that prayer and encouragement meeting, and I recognize most of the people on there now. When I see their face, it's like, oh, hi, how are you? How's this particular situation going? Or I tried that recipe you told me about last month and it was really good. Do you have another idea for this kid or this picky eater? And it's just so encouraging to build relationship with people more face-to-face over there. And the membership prices are so fair. And they actually just released new membership tiers to where there's one of the tiers is even more affordable than some of the options were before, and then it goes up to a particular cost per month where you have access to all these different features and discounts from like Apologia and Redefining School and different companies. So that is digital favorite number 3, something more for the mom. Number 4, World Watch News. Again, you've heard me talk about this for years. We've been big fans of World Watch News for a long time, and even before we were watching World Watch News, we were using God's World Magazine or God's Big World Magazine or World Teen. I grew up with my dad getting World Magazine when I was a kid. It was one of the first ways for me as a middle and high schooler to access the news and current events was through that magazine. And so it's been really neat to be able to provide that for my kids now that once World News started making those children's books. But now the really nice thing is that they have a daily current events news program called World Watch News, and it's only 10 minutes a day. They give you the headlines essentially from the day prior because they film it the day before. They give you a mixture of true current events. They're not glossing over things. Every so often there's a disclaimer, you know, it addresses certain topics that you might want to talk to your kids about before you watch it. So it addresses real life news. But they also mix in some fun things, quirky stories. You kind of get to know the casters' personalities, and then my kids all have their favorite person who has the funny jokes or whatever on the news channel. We actually, my family has a place up in North Carolina fairly close to the World Watch News studio, so I was in touch with them last year, and we actually just popped into the studio and got a tour of the studio, and we got to go, the kids got to read the teleprompter and film like a little take, and it was so fun to be there at the headquarters there in Asheville. And that just made it even more personal to us, but we really enjoy watching it. It's Monday through Friday, it's 10 minutes a day, and it's also a very fair subscription price. I believe it's like $8 a month or something along those lines, and it's probably my kids' favorite part of our morning meeting time every day is just throwing on that news. And I like it because I can go refresh my coffee while they're watching it, and everybody's really engaged, even my youngest student, Annabeth. And then my last digital favorite is the Let's Make Art on YouTube, the YouTube free tutorials. Sometimes I'll share that our handcraft this year and last year as well is watercolor, and people will go buy the kits from Let's Make Art, and it is pricey. Their kits are worth it, but if you have a lot of kids like I do, that is so expensive for a handcraft. Let's Make Art has free YouTube tutorials, so they'll release some of their projects on YouTube, and you can just follow along with the tutorial. You can use your own palette. We've invested in some of the supplies that they share on their channel just because it's made it a little bit easier to have the exact same color match as them. But for a long time we didn't do that. We just used our own watercolor tubes or pans and follow along with the tutorial. The templates are available on their website, so you can print them and trace them if you need a template instead of having to purchase it from their website. They make it really accessible if you want to be utilizing that as a free resource. So every Wednesday we do a watercolor tutorial from Let's Make Art. We alternate between one of their Let's Make Art Kids tutorials and one of their projects that are for adults, but my youngest is able to kind of sit in and do her own thing, and her projects are so cute. Even if it's the adult one, she hangs with us the whole time, and we either do those projects in 1 or 2 sittings. Sometimes it takes us 2 Wednesdays to complete one project, but that has been one of the biggest joys in our homeschool year. This year we were able to be more consistent with it this year than we were last year, because last year the baby was a new baby, and so this year we kind of work at it during her nap time, and we get a little bit of a longer stretch, and it's more predictable. So it's been a blessing to utilize that free resource. It's been really fun to sit down and do the tutorials with the kids. I sit down and do art with them, and it's been such a good fit for our family. And like I said, it's free on YouTube, which is even more great about it. The tutorials are great. The humor is fun. We don't, the little banter they have back and forth between the cameraman and Sarah Cryer, whoever's doing the tutorial, is always clean, and I'm never worried about anything anyone's gonna say. And it's nice. It's a nice little family subject that we do together, and that is my 5th favorite digital resource. So those are my favorite digital resources Redefining School, Teaching Textbooks, Made to Homeschool, World Watch News, and Let's Make Art. If you guys have questions about any of these resources, leave them in the comments down below. I will try to link all of them in the description box down below as well. And make sure that you check out the playlist so you can see other YouTubers, homeschooling YouTubers, digital favorites in their homeschool. I'm really curious. We don't have a very large digital footprint as a family. I don't really branch out much. I feel like I'm behind the times when it comes to technology. So this is one topic that I'm really excited to go check out the other videos on in particular, just because I need some fresh ideas in our homeschool. I know I'm doing my kids a disservice with all of the amazing resources that are out there that I just don't know about yet. So I'm gonna go check out those videos. Make sure you check out the playlist down below. And if you wanna add your video on this topic, you can do so until April 30th. The information is in the description box down below. See you guys soon. Bye.